Hello, good morning, good day, good afternoon, evening, whatever time zone the world you all are. It's your Blue Archive Gacha where beginner artist self-proclaimed and your boy Tosanyu. Welcome to the stream. For today I will be doing fan art of an indie VTuber, which is like Fuyumi Toba, Kingfisher or so, like a kind of bird that turned into a human. And I will like take my time in the stream like in drawing her. I think like I haven't drawn her since like 2 years ago, 2024 around there. Did like maybe like 2 fan arts, and I like checked like on what she did recently, and she has a new outfit. Was like kind of like last year or something like that, and I think like I wanna draw her like in that one. You can see on the left side some samples regarding how I draw chibi art style, and can take like about 2 hours on average until I'm like done with that. But I think I might like go with like not the chibi form, so like more human body proportions, I suppose, on the starters. But if I feel like it, I might like do that at a later point. Who knows? Maybe I can like do both in that stream. In any case, I will be yapping during the drawing process, so you have like something of a BGM, a little bit of a background thing that you can like have there. Art will take like a little bit of time, but I suppose that's like how it should be. Like checking it every now and then, you know, while listening to my yap, and I suppose it can like work. No. Just like woke up, I think like about 2 hours ago. So I have like a little bit time, I had like a bit of time to prepare. Sleep wise, like the duration was like I think about 7 hours, like less than 6 hours minimum and 7 hours at max or so. Like something in between. I had like overtime to work again at like Monday, Tuesday, now yesterday on Wednesday, like overtime to survive, and let's say trade my energy, I would like say, that I I'd like to take my time to restore like for today, so couldn't like really do anything productive regarding like passion projects or so. But I'm like glad I was like able to do on Monday and Tuesday a lot more, since overtime on Mondays was like not extreme, was like just like 1 hour plus instead of like 2 hours, and could like do it with that. But would have been better like without anything, I would say. I'm not sure if I'm gonna throw also like Bao. And here, Bao-kun. That's like a companion, like the pro. And like see. Not try. It's a thing. Throwing in some hands. Position would be like simple. I think like I don't have like a direct idea what I can like do in terms of like chibi style. If it's like chibi style, I like to throw them like derp in a way, like kind of like a random emotion, kind of like something like that. Things like maybe like also whatever, but so fun. I haven't like watched streams of Fer in a while since I was like busy with my own stuff, and like things in other like companies or like VTubers, you know, we also like followed that as a for live fan, and then kind of like I don't know, maybe like VTuber watcher, like talent watcher, not necessarily like the company, but like the people like there you're like enjoying watching. Let's see how will I do this. I think I wanna try if I flip phone. While you have like some things you usually like follow, there are always like things that can distract. The smartphone's like a pretty big like kind of deal for me there, but just having it out in your room can be like already helpful enough. I was like able to like finish our passion project that it was just like the hurdle of like, okay, do one drawing and do like some video editing and then dekimashita, and glad this could be done. I'm glad this could be done, but if it's like comes to like ones that take like longer, then it will be like a bit of struggle, I suppose. I couldn't like see. Maybe I can try without, not sure. Let's restart. Alright, 10 minutes gone. Okay. It might have been okay. But okay. You have to like to kinda, you know, like with everything you do in life, almost everything, it's good to like dip your toes first in, you know? Try it out first, see if you like it. If you like it, cool. And if not, I mean, at least you have like tried it, you know? It's always like, it's for the most cases like good to like make yourself a picture of like what you wanna dive into before you make your final decision. I'm glad I would only make a sketch in this case, you know? But regarding like trying out things first, you know, before you like commit fully, like make your decision, think about it, you know, now that you're a little bit more in. It's like true for most things. Maybe like not trucks, you know? Once you dip your toes in there, there's like not, there's no exit really. Or there is one, but it's like gets really hard to get out of there. So yeah, be careful if it like comes to that kind of stuff. Actually, it would have been good if I like pulled up the example pictures of like my older fan arts of like the Vtuber. You could kind of like see like how they look like. But I did happen to like accidentally delete like all the art file of like 2024. Like the only thing I could like pull up are like the Twitter posts, but let's say I don't really like using it these days, so yeah. I haven't like uploaded there in a while. Oh yeah, she had boobs, so it's like pretty big. Can I draw them smaller? I do like them smaller, I must like say, like drawing wise. Like looking at them, you know, like what other artists like do, that's fine. If I have to do it myself, it's like kind of like, I don't know. I think like with the hair I can like make a little bit of balance. Get a little bit of balance, yeah. A little bit of curves like this way and then... Not sure. Let's see. I will try like out. If I like it, I will continue. If I don't like it, then restart. The style has like a little bit changed, but let's see. Maybe I should like start off with the chin and with the hands or so. I'm not like sure if the new design is like easier to draw or like harder. I did used to draw her like in an older one and I was kinda like thinking, it's a lot of details I have to draw. Even like in GB form where I'm allowed to simplify, but even like then it's like, it's too much a little bit. A little bit too much. In German I like to say like schnick schnack or like gedöns. A little bit on like extra stuff. Like a lot of Vtuber designs have those. But if I look like at, let's say, designs in like anime, manga, light novels, it's like not too much, but still like recognizable, you know? Will I color this one? I would probably do. Like if it's like this amount of like stuff I like draw, it's fine. But if it's like full body and stuff, I'm like less inclined to. If it's like, especially if it's like a practice piece. But if I like decide, oh okay, I'm gonna draw a fan art of like this one, then it's like for the most part, yeah, probably it depends like how the pacing will go. This is like a little bit free flow, so this will like do. If I do like practice like drawings, you know, it's like I look like at a reference of like, let's say a cosplayer, and then like try to draw them, like use this as a practice piece, and then I probably will not color at the end. Let's say color can look great, but I'm not that confident. It's like pretty basic if you look like on left side, but it can be pretty good depending on like how it will go. But yeah, important is like the final piece. How it looks like at the end. Oh, she has like accessories there, some earrings. I will edit them at the finishing line. Around the finishing line. The hairstyle has changed a little bit. The pony is like different. But I have like drawn off a fan art back in the days. I never drew them on stream, I think. Or did I? Maybe I did, I don't know. On Twitch side. No, I haven't streamed like 2 years ago, right? Like, only like around the end of 2024 I like started to like draw. I think, yeah, I haven't like done... Yeah, I didn't have done anything. I think I streamed like Smash Brothers or so. That was like really sporadic when I stream on Twitch. Sometimes I had a schedule, like Twitch schedule, but let's say I don't really look at that if I like want to inform myself regarding streams. Yeah, okay. Holy shit. But you know, I really think like it's really important, you know, when I debut or something, that you have like a design that stands out. At least like that the quality is like somewhat decent. You made like a good choice on like choosing, or at least having the luck that an illustrator that's somewhat established like did her design. That was like actually the reason for me to actually like, okay, let's check out illustrator Sacheli, who did like Doki Doki Literature Club's art. Let's go in. I was like this kind of like say like swarm, I would like say. The thing which is like a curse for me is that I can't draw. Means like I have a little bit of an eye for that stuff when things are drawn great or not. And let's say if something doesn't really look so okay for me, it's kind of like, you know, I'm not that tolerant, I suppose. It's kind of like when you're watching a horror movie and then you all do, you know, the in and outs of like the costume making, the kind of like genre of like jump scares. So like even when like something really good is happening, like a really well made crafted scene, it's not necessarily like where you look at it and enjoy it. It's like, how did they make this? Oh, the logistics of that, you know. For me, if it comes with art, you know, it's somewhat similar, I suppose. At least like if it comes like composition or like design choices, but I'm not that hardcore in there. But still something's affecting me regarding that. This can be like a little bit of a curse. My auge is pretty small. Antenna. Some people, other people call it. And then it goes like here. I think hair would split around here. I would say it splits around there. I might have to correct like some things later. But let's hope I can do it within 2 hours. It'll be semi-sketch-like, but I think like we'll clean up enough. It can be used for something else. Ooh, oh gosh. Maybe I make the eyes bigger. Now, so far it doesn't look so ass. Even without the change. Things a little bit rounder. I think here I can over-exaggerate with the size of that thing. The earpieces I think I can ignore for now. My personal taste is like that I, for the most part, try to like hide the accessories, like earrings, necklaces, like those luxury goods that you put on yourself as extra decoration, you know. Rings can, for example, to They are my eyes, an eye catcher, but also like distracting. When it like comes to like drawn art, you know, like with Bishoujos for example, I did like for the most part like those high school romance comedy kind of stuff. And then it's like, okay, they have a dress code, they go to school, they can't like really wear bling bling around. All of them have like kind of like a set rule on like what they're like wearing, you know. And then it's all about like the natural beauty combined like with the uniform. You can't really cheat your way of like dressing up as like as hip as you can, you know. There might be like exceptions for like the gyarus, you know. Those kind of chicks, I would like say, but for the most part, I did appreciate like the naturalness whenever it like comes to like looking at Bishoujo designs, like beautiful girls and so, you know. So when there are like not too many distracting details of like I guess luxury goods, you know, like shiny things you wear on the wrist, shiny things you wear on the finger, shiny things that you wear around the neck, you know. It's kind of like I don't have to look at that, but can just appreciate like everything else. It's like good for me. Some other people have like the preference on like, yeah, I would like if they have no makeup, you know. I can like appreciate the naturalness, you know, something like that. But yeah, it's kind of like that, I suppose. For me, it's just like with the accessories. Some are like working well even with the accessories, but sometimes it's like worse without it, you know. But kind of like, yeah. For her, it's just like a little bit of flaw reasons, I suppose, like with one of those pieces. Not okay. I'll like see if I can do things like how I think I wanted to. Hand. Kana. But yeah, it's just like me randomly yapping while I like draw something. It's not a big deal. Just a little guy talking about what he likes about girls, I suppose. Just a little guy, come on man. Okay, she's not wearing clothes on this side. This is like, okay, working. A little bit tighter here, but let me eat a little bit. To my own preferences. As long as I like keep the core, it's fine. I did like on the design that there's more emphasis on like the upper torso. Because like when you VTube, it's like the most like face and torso is like the thing you're like looking the most at. Not necessarily like what's below. But can be like cool if you include those details if you ever like want to make a 3D. Like if you have like a character sheet that's not only showing you from the front but like from the side, from behind, from below, whatever, you know. And it's like kind of a sign, yeah, 3D plan or so. But if you have only like the front view picture, Kinda like a little bit more difficult to get like justice, I suppose. At least like what I could like saw from Aukun. Not Aukun. But yeah. What do I do with the necklace? I think like I draw it like around the end. Let's say it's like halos in Blue Archive. That's like a thing I should not forget. Okay. This looks so generic, I must like say, what I'm like trying right now. I think this will not be as amazing, but if it's not, it's also like great. Not every thing I draw must be a 10 out of 10. I'm like fine if it's like a 6 out of 10. I think around here should be the boob opening. Can I hide it? I think the most I did like a fur when it comes to Bisho styles like drawing her in a swimsuit. But let's say I chose an angle that's like was like more of a practice piece, I would like say. But obviously not enough to like make me blow up, but it's like also fine. I think like the ship has like sailed for me now regarding like a lot of opportunities in life. Like yesterday evening when I like doing overtime, I did like realize like my situation is like not really like the best if I like want to continue art or want to like continue my passions, like, you know. There might still be a chance, but it's like not as great with the chances. Thing is like, back in the days, I had like a lot more hope. But nowadays, you know, it's like not looking as good anymore. What do I mean by that? You know, when you draw art, one of the best ways to grow is like whatever the internet is like offering you, right? You have like sites where you can upload like your stuff. Twitter, what was you called back in the days? Instagram. Pixiv is good as always, I would say. YouTube was also like, I think, kind of okay back then. But some changes like the world that like also like affect the virtual space. And that's it. COVID is like I think like the thing that changed it and that like brought in like the most. And that changed lives, you know, for the better, but also like worse some life, or like even took some. Like, it's not really a joke, you know, when it's like actually like killed people. Some people like wrote off as like, ah, it's fake, you know, just like what's called, another disease is similar to that also, but it is actually real, you know? And people died. I know like a dude, you know, in the Smash Bros scene, he had like a pro, and this pro died because of like, you know, COVID. And you know, dude was pretty young. Like the dude who lost his brother. Like younger than me. Not like gonna say like how old I am, but how old I was, but you know, losing someone important to you at a young age. This was a young guy, you know, and sometimes the COVID would be like called boomer remover, you know, but it can like really, you know, can like be really that heavy. When I had it like for a week, I felt like I was dying like on the first day. The next days went like better, took like some medicine so to fight against it, I suppose. Like throw hands with that, you know, come on, get in the ring with me, 1v1, bing bing bing, you know. The first day it got me, you know, not gonna lie, they got me in the first half, but when I've regained more and more strength to make my comeback, you know. But some other people were not so lucky. But yeah, like COVID also like brought some changes like to the online world, you know. People were shut in, you know, and they seek like entertainment, and as people like went more on online, they'd be like, can make a market there, you know. Like besides like, you know, individuals, there were also like companies and during the time this like planted the seed, and then from there on it did make some things like worse for consumers, or for people like me who like had like a little bit of a dream like that can only like be done via the online world. Examples. Mr. Beast, I suppose, ruined YouTube. Elon Musk ruined X, and maybe indirectly also like other social media sites where artists can use that to grow. AI ruined art, I would say. Maybe. You could also say AI did like made human art more valuable, but at the same time you can like say, yeah, you can like be dismissing me like, man, this dude ruined Twitter, the other dude ruined YouTube, and this kind of thing ruined like, you know, thing like with art and potential. Maybe like took like some workspace, you know. Art doesn't have to like include like the drawing art, it can be like musical, it can be like content creation, you know. But looking like at some things, and like when you like go into YouTube, you hear like the AI voice and then like some AI generated videos, you know. If the videos can kinda be a little bit difficult to like check, but if it's like about some kind of content they make and the believability of like that, maybe sometimes you need the comment section, and if there's actually something written, some people like called out, yeah, this story's bullshit, you know. The cat there, it's like not the same, like it's like 15 times a different cat, you know. That's, yeah, great story, or something like that. Ha ha ha, clap clap ironically, and then yeah. But yeah, TLDR got like a little bit harder. And if I want to like grow in this environment, it's kind of like, there's like not much I can do. I can try my best, I suppose. But it's not only like that kind of news that kind of got me down. There's also like regarding like let's say like support from the country, you know. I live in Germany, we have like a welfare state, you know. But even with welfare, some things are getting restricted. When I was like kind of like thinking about my future, you know, it's a little bit late, but I think I don't necessarily need money for a full-time job, but I need time so that I can like work on my passion. I only live like one time, you know, like every human lives only once, so they should try to land our shots, you know. And like, you know, chase the dreams. But even there are like some hurdles. My dad like kind of shared a little bit of news with me, and it seemed like that, you know, if you wanna get like some money from the country, like some via the welfare, you need to like fulfill like some conditions, like work, you know, and they do want to encourage you to work full time, you know. Else, yeah, they're not gonna pay something you out. And like in other words, they do want to avoid giving you some extra pocket money. I'm currently working full time. If I switch like to a mini job or like part time, they would like want to force me back. So like the company there, well, no, the country kind of wants to force me back, like to go back to full time, or like e.g. like what is like for me like a little bit slavery. I do want to continue my dreams, you know. But yeah, I think it's just like I cannot rely on them to help me. I need to rely on myself, you know. Need to be self-sustaining. It's gonna be a little bit tough, but actually it's enough to live. If I would have gotten the money like from the country, you know, from Germany, I have a little bit more room for luxuries, but now it's kind of like, you know, I suppose I become a pirate. I mean, like, the current time is kind of like okay, but still there's some things I care about where I do not want to pirate, you know. It's a little bit of dilemma as well. I'm gonna join Marine's crew. You're like, ahoy, 火车开这个蛋，我想 Marine です or something like that. But okay. Where this do? But there's still a bit of hope. I think regarding that, but I need to like fix it, but I'm gonna like see. I think around here's the build. To check the full design. Well, at the very least, she did show her full body on stream at least. So it will make it a little bit easier to like that. There's like no what's called character sheet from 3 dimensions, but that's like fine. 3D can be like pretty expensive. And if you wanna have 3D and use that, you need like a lot of space to like move around. Maybe a studio needs to be rented if ever you ever want to like make something bigger, I suppose. And make like the ease of use, like, you know, make it available. The details are a little bit tiresome. Details are tiresome. Okay, that's how well do this. Erase for now. There's like something that goes. Something that goes. They go like somewhere around there. The boobs window becomes a little bit visible. And they're like else here from the color. And then from here it's also something regarding the color. It starts around here. And you have around here more stuff. Here more stuff. And here I would have started with the window. That means I have to like to start a little bit higher up. Higher, higher, bam, ba 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 bam. Do you think I'm gonna simplify it? And with the hair I should like give more volume. It looks pretty normal. Okay, I'm like 45 minutes in roughly. 45 minutes. A little bit of pain, but it can be worth it if I'm like happy at the end of the day. If not, it's like also fine. At least I did something. Doesn't need to be a 9 out of 10. Would be cool though. Actually, like with the older art I've like done of let's say I'm not happy with like all of them. It like works though. Not happy like in terms of like results, you know. Sometimes you have like some standards you like want. I think like around the window in all these patterns I will do it like with color only. I was like thinking about who I'm gonna draw next. One thing in the future I will be really sure like, you know, I like want to draw a fan art of like every VTuber or so. Or like of everything, like anime or so, that I did enjoy. So far I've like done my part with like Holo Bro, except one member, but then I think trying Goblin Slayer would be kind of cool, even though with the armor, so that would be fun. I'd like to try Rocks from Tensei, maybe some other Blue Archive characters. I would like to draw. I have like a list, I suppose. I think, like my head, not drawn yet, not like written down yet, but there's like quite a number, I suppose, on like what I do want to draw. That's for sure. The whole thing for now. Use the same line strength. He needs more volume with the hair. Get some plushes in. He's a little bit empty without. There's some highlights, but only work if I draw with color. Kind of rule of thumb for me is like, it needs a good look without the colors first, and then I can like do the rest, I suppose. I don't do traditional line art though, like where it's like squeaky clean. I do like the sketchiness. I will go on with that. Not my style regarding the squeaky cleanliness. I did try it like back in the days, but it took so much time away. It was not fun for me. I did like be happy like sometimes, you know, if it like did pay out, you know, it looked like good, but for the most part it was kind of like, can I be drawing something without pain and still be happy? Yeah, actually there's an option. There's the option. So I like opted for that. Like if you see the summers on the left side, let's say they look like squeaky clean, but if you maybe get the opportunity to zoom in, you know, look at it closer, not everything's like clean. I mean, professional artists like do the same actually. Because they're professional, they need to like to deliver work on time, and they can't like take all the time on perfection, you know. It needs to be like delivered in time. Like the speed is like more important than like how clean and like proper the prim and proper and everything there is. And like animators are the same, sometimes they have to deliver something half-assed, you know. But then they have to deliver a 7 out of 10 rather than a 10 out of 10, you know. If that all the time in the world, or like the manpower, you know, so that everybody can like focus on mastering their kind of like work they're assigned to, would be cool, but there's only limited manpower, you know, and let's say the population in the world gets less and less. We have like a little bit of trouble like in a lot of the world currently. Germany is like kind of like as well, and I think like they're gonna make like the politicians there make like more dumb decisions. The thing is like the population gets older, so there are numbers of like people who elect, you know, okay, kind of talking about politics, but you know, it's like doom and gloom TLDR. I would like say. It's not bad, but yeah, it's not so bad. Long hair. I love them, but I also hate them. Drawing wise. But let's see. I have respect for artists who can do that. That on a regular basis. I must say, as I like, for example, like Arikawa Satoru sensei regarding that. And especially like coloring them, like that they do like a colored, let's say, manga? Not keeping like black and white, like illustrated, fully illustrated or so. And if it comes to character with long hair, let's say like hair that like goes down to the feet, oof. It's also like a lot of work. But I do that. And they're so good at this. But they're also like, man, that was so hard. That was such a pain, you know, something like that. But that's a good event here. It's kind of like that. It's mostly like because the way they draw the hair. Why I'm like buying merch of that from that artist. Arikawa Satoru sensei. Man, I think like my older art look better of her, I suppose, than like what I'm like doing right now. This one's not completed, but I kind of can feel, yeah, I'm not gonna deliver really. I don't really like the progress so far. Process, I do not like it so. I can see in the future. But let's see if I can keep it like decent enough. Solid. Maybe like mirror? Even like mirror that looks kind of okay. Maybe around here. Now that I look at it. And really thin arms. It's my fault. Actually, I should like study like anatomy. I would like say. At the same time, you don't have to. kind of like, you know, you look at things like anatomy and then like the details and everything, like how bones behave, and if like that applied like to your drawings, can look pretty amazing, especially if it's like a doujinshi. And you can like give even like the most cutest innocent drawing like a little bit of erotic touch, you know, like just slightly, beep, just a little bit, slightly, you know. Then yeah, you have like some beautiful image with like a little bit of steam that's looking like out of a hentai, I suppose, and then but it's like still let's say inconspicuous enough, you know, that's like not flagged by the AI also as like NSFW, unless you have like done too many of those, you know. Like I think like Croc is like a little bit weird, like on X. And then I can't see most of the posts anymore, and then yeah. Elon Musk ruined Twitter. Now we're left with a letter instead of like a bird. Like, he killed a bird! Yurusenai! Yurusenai yo! Then yeah, you know, I think like this would be like the start of like a manga series or so, or like whatever. You know, I hate rich people! And then turns into the rich guy, you know. Kind of like with the meme of like, I hate ghouls because they're ghouls. I hate titans because they're titans. I hate rich people becomes like one of the rich people. You have to live in both worlds, I suppose, like regarding the themes of like that. To like understand like each other's side and like POV, I suppose. Like just having an opinion that's like one-sided, you know, I suppose. And also, if you look at the supposed reasons of like why the bad opposition does that, it's kind of like, yeah, can be good reasons, can be like stupid reasons, but like very human. I think Tokyo Ghoul was okay. Even though ghouls were essentially like vampires, you know, just reskinned, you know. Because vampire at some point like outdated. Okay, let's create another thing that's similar but not quite the same. Give a power system, voila, you know. But it was like pretty good work, I must like say. I liked the themes. I like the art style. The art style carried it like pretty big time for me. I like to look at the illustrations that Ishida-C sensei like did. It has like something like of this watercolory acrylic kind of feel. And also like the vibes, you know, the emotions that like come from that. Would like to like learn that as well. But let's say I'm like not much of an illustrator. That's why my illustrations can kind of be kind of mid. It's okay, but it's like kind of mid. I'm discriminating my shelf. A little bit of self-hate, a little bit of self-criticism. That's mostly criticism, I must say. I cannot hurt others but myself, that's fine, I suppose. Friendly fire to myself activated. Usually I don't do that enough, I suppose. Don't do that often. And sometimes I do like think about times back then and be like, man, kinda stupid, you know. Yeah, I know. And yeah, kind of like accepting like the bad parts of yourself, or like say, or like acknowledging that this is there. Like don't kill the cringe, you know, for example, but like embrace the cringe. Kill the part that cringes. Then you're cringe but you're free, something like that. If I look at how this behaves, oh. I wouldn't like to draw like the accessory there. It's too much schnick for me. Keep it simple. The first idea I had in mind, like drawing of a flip phone. I discarded that, I suppose. But yeah, the other approach, let's see. How is this? It's this. How is it? I like that here. As long as you recognize it, so it's like good, I think. I think I wouldn't be a good collaborator, I suppose. Think like about the opportunities. And like more a yapper, I suppose. Maybe I have like a little bit of a... maybe I'm a little bit of a loose cannon, I suppose. We'll like see. But I can't sing. At least I like to sing. Maybe song collab? Yeah. No. I did release like a short cover recently. Of like a song that's not out yet. It's true, a stranger in heaven. But when you like it enough, you know, you push through. Like making a short cover was like for me a passion project. Actually I had like more plans regarding like making it look better, you know, like visually wise. But let's say I only had like the short version, like a 2 minutes kind of like instrumentals rather than like the full 3 minutes and 54 seconds or so. I'd like to play with what I had. Because it was only like the short version, I kept it like minimal with like the workload. But I had like a little bit more of an idea how a full version visually would look like if I made like a full cover. I can't only wait for that and then include that. But let's say it's minimal work to like a bigger project I like planned. And the bigger project I planned is like I keep on the back burner because I do need to learn new things. I'm kinda old, you know. They say like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Which is somewhat true, I'd say. Because I do have difficulties. Especially with my work, my job, you know. Come back home, I have no time. Or I have no energy. Sometimes it's both. But I'm glad I was like able to complete like one passion project at the very least. I would like to do more. My deadline will be this month. I want to release that this month, I would say. But still, I have to draw every now and then to not get rusty. That's like why I do this stream here as well. And I used to draw her. I do support indies. I do like the German VTubers. She doesn't really do much German. Sometimes if there's reply, then maybe she replies back in German, but overall English more reach, I suppose. That's like the kind of strat and meta we're like going for. I'm also like doing for the most part English only. So it's understandable. Yeah, I suppose kinda works. The line weight is somewhat there. It's dirty, but I can fix it. I can fix her! But to be honest, I don't really see it as a bad thing. I mean, it's real. It's no phantom, and it's real. Okay, 1 hour plus. I think I will slowly go to coloring. How do I draw her? With a big smile? This is pretty basic though, pretty boring, I must like say. One of my most boring fan arts, but better than nothing. I'm rusty, so yeah. Kingfisher. Without like that. Doesn't look like Firefly. Well, I have to include the colors, so then it can work. Not that I played like any Hoyo games really. I see like she streams a lot of Hoyo games. Let's use like one where she's not smiling. Let's do like one where she not smile. She not smiley. Okay, let's try to color. I think I will borrow the color scheme instead of like effing around. King color first. And let's see. Cannot one-shot everything, like with how dirty stuff is. But that's fine. Can I draw a chibi version of her really quickly? Let's see how much time I would have afterwards. I probably think I cannot do that. Maybe of her face only. But that's fine. Eyes. Shall I start with the eyes? Eyes. What did I draw of him? Do I keep it basic? Yeah, keep it basic. I'm gonna draw it like how I would always. So, like, if I draw like manga style. I'm not a good illustrator. I shouldn't like play with those cards. I'm pretty mid as illustrator. It works if I do chibi. If I do like this kind of body size, it's not really working that well. As I like play to my strengths. One day. No, whatever. Gonna check my older work, I suppose. ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。 Did draw it back in the days. How did I do it back in the days? It was not bad back in the days. I had more passion back then. And then at some point I lost my passion. I mean, if you remember like what I talked like previously, kind of like, yeah, understandable. I did draw like on a regular basis, almost daily. But that is like actually I drew 3 fan art of her. 3 pieces, holy crap. I was really like... I really did grind it, holy crap. Holy shit. Okay, I have an example picture. Grind was real. I was good at that, I suppose. Okay, let's do hair color. I did everyone one layer of the eyes. I'm a little bit too... So machine, just a little guy. Color... The bucket cannot one-shot it. Okay, I have to live with that. Draw everything else by hand? So do I use a lasso? Let's use a lasso. The rest I will do manually. There are not many VTubers that can also draw, I suppose. Some are specialized, you know, that promote themselves, yeah, I am mangaka and a VTuber, but some others are not promoting themselves, but when they happen to be like, actually decent at drawing, you know. Like Oga from Holostars. They have like a little bit of know-how regarding that. It's kind of cool. They like show off that they have like a little bit of other abilities as well that can help them with their content creation path. Like some of them were like experienced like streamers or like content creators before they came like to the big company, you know, instead of like learning from scratch. The beginnings of like Hololive, for example, were like that they're like pretty much like indies that have like no experience in like YouTube and stuff, but still they play their cards correctly, I suppose, and yeah, it's cool. But of course, like when you become big, you know, and you get more money, sometimes the temptation is like there that you sell your soul to become rich, you know. And if soul is gone, then yeah, it's kinda ass. I don't like what Star Wars nowadays is. I did like it back in the days, you know. But when lore-wise, movies... I mean, as a standalone movie, you know, episode 7, it's not so bad. But if you take like a lot of other things and you know, you try to connect all of those together, it's kind of like, isn't it a Mary Sue? The main character there. Don't they reuse too many tropes? Kinda like E. You get what I mean, I suppose. Let's do the basic colors first. I'm gonna draw basic, I suppose. Ugh, there's so many details. Well, it's not as much as in the original. I kinda like the swimsuit one because there's like less details to draw, but at the same time, I'm not good at like drawing the naked skin as well. I like to look at it, but drawing wise, I'm gonna keep a distance. That's like why I kinda like opted for more chibi, you know. It's kinda excusable. It doesn't have to look erotic or so, you know. You don't need to have much knowledge of the anatomy and such. I kinda had like to make like in a tricky way to like not draw as much as what I assigned myself to. In the sense, like I do use a lot of shortcuts to get to my goal. It works. Especially because not much time, so I have like to optimize for you know, completion rather than like perfection. And professionals are like that too. Not that I'm a professional, but you know. But when I like see myself in a situation where I have like not that much time, you know, it becomes like more and more like, yeah, I get you, bro. It's hard, isn't it? When I look at their studio, you know, it's not a one-man project. There's like assistants be like, okay. You know, it's like we're not seeing eye to eye in a sense, you know. Exhaustion? That being hard? Yeah, it sure is, right? While while the mangaka's like doing a smoke, while the assistants like do their finishing touches, I suppose, you know, like do the rest of the work. Paneling, they draw the speech bubbles or so, they do the backgrounds, and all the main guy has to do is like, okay, come up with a story, make a storyboard, draw and ink the characters. That's all I have to do, you know. I kinda like wanted to become mangaka, you know, but Germany wise, not that easy. So I was like kind of thinking when I was like optimistic, okay, I do it all by myself, gonna impress the people, you know, and be like, I made this, you know. You made this? Yes, I made this, you know. But nowadays, and when I like try to like do a manga, I do like see, holy crap, it's hard. Even like one page is hard enough. How did I do this? Determination, willpower. And yeah. But also they work smart. Not harder, but smarter. And some of the smart options are not available. Yeah. But I see also like webtoons, you know? They use 3D for the backgrounds. It's not like, you know, they take 3D slapping on it, but they edit a little bit that it looks like acceptable enough, you know? I think this can work, but at the same time my brother's artist, man, what did I do wrong, you know? And yeah. But sometimes you have like to go for this option of like, that's not perfect, you know, but it does its job. But if you do, like, example, a video game, and you want to sell that, suppose you have to go for not only like for getting it done, but also do it as perfectly as you can. Like if the whole game is like a bug fest, you know, then it's kind of like ass for the play experience, and then they will maybe not come back. I also thought like about game development, you know. Do I tell my story in a game? Do I make a manga? When I look at, for example, like Omori, you know, it was in the beginning a manga. But yeah, Omocat decided later on, let's make a game out of that, you know. And some other like Japanese works are not a manga also, but they are a game. And I think like some stories are better told via a game. Especially if you're not, let's say like fight scenes, you know. They can be hard to draw. And surely you can make a cool one, but if you want people to immerse themselves in their battle rather than like watching like, yo, sick animation, sick wombo combo, backflip, whatever, but let them themselves like play and like set up the situation good enough, it can get immersive. And when I remember that, man, this was a good fight, you know. I like the music that like was like popping in there, and so I had like my strat where I cheese the boss or whatever, I know. This can also work. I like, for example, like in Yakuza, like when I played on PlayStation 2 back in the days. How cool it was, the setup, you know, the talk, this combo for the storm, and then BAM! And then the transition to the battle scene, you know, to a fight. You can play yourself. I did like the fighting system enough that I was like willing to wait like 10-15 seconds before I could like go on. The loading times were like kinda ass for the first Yakuza on the PlayStation 2. But it was like so... it was kind of ahead of its time. There was, yo, this is such a good game. No, I'm willingly like waiting a little bit longer. Or we go on. I saw like also that Omori has a manga adaptation now, but I also like see like the disadvantage of like, okay, it's based on the game, but you know, the way you do storytelling via a game and then like a standalone a standalone game with multiple routes, and then like a manga where you can probably only go for one route only. You know, it's important like how do you tell the story and what message do you want to leave, you know? Like what should be the thing like readers are gonna take away from that. Something like that, you know? Like a lot of like nowadays people like try something like, yeah, representation, you know, and this kind of like gedöns, but it's really like, you know, what is the message? What do they want to convey? When it's just like inclusion, you know, to like satisfy a demographic or some shareholders, it's kind of like, I don't know. This is so empty, you know? I haven't learned anything from that. And yeah, kind of like this. So what I wanted to say, you know, like with Omori manga, I'm kind of curious on like what do they want to convey? What part of the game do they want to convey? Or can they convey something that the game could not convey? This would be like the thing I'm curious about. I remember Fuyumi Toba. Fuyumi, she used my art for a thumbnail more or less. Not really sure, like she did a Twitter announcement, used my art also, and then I'm gonna play Omori or something like that. I did like draw chibi, but I think like she tried to do a PNG of it, you know, make a PNG transparent one, but it kind of failed. I was like drawing so dirty that it was like pretty hard to use as a PNG or so. I remember. Imagine. Whatever. The Sumimasen should be fine, it's a casual. Moshi wake gozaimasu! But yeah, I learned from that. It will make it like easier to use. And even like include like PNG, transparent PNG, another post, I suppose. Omori is a pretty good game. Pretty heavy though. I only played one ending, but I can see enough from what hints chat gave me, like in what endings it can like branch into, what kind of message those have. It's pretty easy, for example, to just like give up, you know, rather than like fighting fate. Fighting your inner demons, you know, fighting yourself. Really easy to give up. I mean, I can see the ending, like how it can impact the world, or like the people around him, his friends, you know. They lost like, well, let's not spoil them, you know, but it's pretty heavy. Game is kinda young. I remember like when Cardi streamed it, you know, when I was like, let me buy the game, and then let's play that so they can watch our stream, but at some point, you know, I stopped playing the game, and then yeah. I did pick it up last year, and it was great. But man, I should have done it sooner. Well, it gave me like 100 subscribers or so. It's like something. Subscribers in terms of like YouTube, you know. I stream on YouTube for the most part. Okay, now I'll do the highlights and the yellow stuff and so. The color scheme for this one has changed. Okay. The older ones was like white. White Caesar. What do they call that in Japanese? Honey was like something else, right? Honey was like a wing. I remember correctly, of course. Not sure. Well, it's not important like in daily Japanese usage. I do like learning. For the most part, it's like kind of like containing what I've like, not containing, but like preserving on what I've learned. That I do not forget like already like what certain words mean, rather than like learning something new every day. I think like what's gonna be important is like trying to immerse myself in like conversations. I kind of like get the feel of like the grammar. Some YouTube channels are like pretty helpful regarding that. I'm watching like Kaname Naito sensei is like one, and it's like pretty useful, like the examples or so, the grammar stuff. There's like even like situational like you know, like examples, you know, makes like scenario something like a zombie apocalypse, you know, and specifically that, you know, so that you can show how certain words are used or so. It's kind of like, yeah, that's so smart. It might be like one of the best, if not the best, like kind of contents out there regarding Japanese and like learning. Yeah, the highlight colors, they do slap. Oh yes. I don't know if it's like good or bad. But I kind of like thinking, man, a lot of VTubers have like, she's following the cliche, you know, regarding hair color, it's always like one base color and then some highlights, you know, that are always like that are like two colors or so. I was kind of thinking. I mean, it works. Maybe it might be like a thing I like was thinking about when I did like some fan arts of her back in the days, like of other VTubers, you know. It's always like something I like comment about. Only have like two higher colors. Do I have to make this two to like stand out? Probably not. The thing is like, you know, if everyone becomes special, no one is special, you know. But if you stand out, if can like work. But if you look like too normal, like NPC, it's also like not working, you know. You need like something that you like feel okay with, because that's like the way you will present yourself, and the way you present yourself will be important. Your identity, you know. But I kind of like find, you know, even though some indie VTubers are like worth watching, sometimes I'm a little bit regarding some decision making some indie VTubers do. Like when they do like some trends, you know, like for, I don't know, engagement farming. Like, hey, real IRL you versus VTuber you, something like that, you know? Like where they kind of like get people to dox themselves, you know, like eye color wise or like hand reveal or something. I think like some of those trends are like pretty dumb. Like if you reveal yourself who you really are, this kind of destroys the purpose of like VTubing, you know. Some people are fine with that, you know. It's okay, I suppose. Just on myself, it's kind of like kind of like dumb, kind of dumb. But yeah, it's like kind of like one of those things I'm kind of like you know. It does strain motivation a little bit as well to ever try fan out of them again. Like some people are fine with that, you know, but some people are not. I'm like one of those people who are not really fine with that. If I want to, you know, I don't really want to get it like shoved into my, not necessarily. Sadly, I kind of like did like see some faces, I would like say. Sometimes like semi okay because they were a face mask or so, but kind of like always dangerous, especially if you do a live stream. I mean, in the real lifetime, in real time broadcast. Some people don't have goodwill, are not that nice. For the most part, what I've done is just like silently watching and trying to like trying to learn from those people, you know. It's a cautionary tale. I haven't like done too much yet, you know. Kind of stay in my safe bubble. But the thing is also like, those who never try will not do mistakes. It's kind of like, you know, if you never tried yourself, you will not make mistakes, but at the same time, you will not get to experience like, you know, you will not get experience. Sometimes experience can be helpful, but some you should like better not experience, you know? Like drugs. Like things that can get you in danger. I'm glad I never like really tried the IRL stuff, you know? On engagement farming. And nowadays with Twitter it's like so dumb. Like things like nowadays. I'm not using much on social media, I would like say. Sometimes I get like some messages or so, DMs, but usually it's like can be a little bit hard to reach me via there. I'm only like on certain times a day, like actually online, like regarding social media to like look at stuff, you know, like inform myself. It's like a Discord server, like Discord in general. I also hop in to like post. When I like in the middle of like posting, I like check things, you know. It's like maybe like one of the few times. But I try like to skedaddle, like you know, peace out like as quickly as I can. Since like social media like drains a lot of like time and energy of myself, and I do need that energy to like work on some projects, passion projects, things I care about, you know. It's like nowadays like a bit harder and harder on like trying to work towards a goal. But at the same time, I like trying like my best to not engage with that. I kind of like quit playing Umamisumi so more or less, like with the racing part, you know, champions meet and so. They updated like things of like so Umamisumi is like a mobile gacha game. It's reached like got like the award of best mobile game last year. It's like basically like about that there's a girl, any girl like Umamisumi, you know, like mix of like cat girls, you know, but like horse with human, and you support them and realize their dream on becoming the best racer or like idol plus racer there is, you know. And can be pretty rewarding when all your help and support turns like it's like bearing some fruits, and it gets them first place, you know. And when they can be on the big stage and sing and be like, oh, thank you, trainer-san, you brought me that far, thank you, you know. There's like, and Umamisumi meets like horse and then daughter, you know. So it's basically like you're raising a daughter, you know, a child, and it's kind of like, wow, amazing, you know. Now I get it, why it's so special. Like back in the days, you know, I saw like whole life playing that and be like, man, that's so good. And then they're getting so hooked, they streamed it like a lot of times, Robaru-san I think as well. But once I got to play it myself and be like, yeah, I now understand why it's so good, you know. I now understand, I get it. But yeah, that's like all I needed, you know. Now I can peace out, and yeah. I'm actually sticking only around like to put on certain characters. I got like Nice Nature in her cheated outfit. Now I wait for my own Top Gun and then I can stop. Maybe I only like log in for the login bonuses and then that's about it, I suppose. And if it's like event stories, I don't really care much. Maybe I read the main story. It's for sure. Okay, let's do some other stuff. I did the base color. Now a little bit lacking will be the color depth stuff. That man. It's so basic. It's so basic. How's the shadow? How are the shadows? Kinda like that. Okay, there's no... here's some... It's mostly on this side. Alright, can work with that. Mostly this side. And then smudging. What I enjoy like about her social media usage is when she would like post things from Germany, when she has like bought something or like she checks out something as a German product. I think that's like one of the things where I'm like, yeah, I get you. But other than that, there's like not too much that where it's like, yeah. But it's always something, you know, they speak for the most times English, but every single time I see like a part of like, hey yo, I know that thing, you know. It's like, yeah, it's like where a little bit like kind of smile when I remember like my social media usage back in the days. For my part, I don't really share much about my IRL, you know. Kind of like kawaii, it's kind of like scary, like how social media can be dangerous, you know. Like people can like find out where you live just because, like in Japan was like kind of a case because the reflection on your eyes also was like a thing, and this was like kind of crazy enough, you know, that for example like corporate VTubers, you know, be like, okay, don't show like anything reflecting, you know, also. But even if the, you know, like flash tubers, you know, who like are like cam tubers in a sense, when they like stream from their room, some people are like able to like determine in what apartment or like at least like or like house they can like trim it down, narrow it down where you like live roughly, or like what kind of like address, you know, not necessarily sure like about the address in like which kind of apartment complex, you know, like which apartment, but like in which building, you know, because they see like the structure of like your whole room and be like, okay, there's a pillar, not many have like a pillar, you know, like not many like things, and you can like make it, you know, like some people like do the professionally, they can like kind of find out like where you live, and it can be like kind of scary, you know. So like something regarding like Connor, you know, but because he's living in Japan, it's like pretty hard to like actually, you know, dox someone. But when he like used to be like, let's say like outside of Japan, living somewhere else, you know, before COVID would like break out, some people could like determine me like, hey, did you live there? And then like in DMs, and then it's like, holy crap, you're pretty much accurate, you know. Yeah, I used to live there, and it's kind of like, scary, you know. And so it's like one of the reasons why I'm not really like doing anything with like IRL like stuff, you know, and like posting. There might be like a bit of a trace, you know, but yeah. But you can like never know. Things like internet never forgets. There's like even things like internet archive, you know, that can be used. Sure, yeah. Not wanting to live with regrets there. I think if I post this, I will not include like a lot of things. It's kind of mid, like say. I think it's okay. How long way in? 2 hours, roughly. Yeah, 2 hours. Then some finishing touches before I wrap it up. A little bit of like the line weights, but overall. It's not amazing. It's fine. Like the head looks weird actually. Maybe correct that one. Whoa, correction! Correction! I think that's a little bit too long. I had to draw all on the wrong layer. Yeah, it looks a little more acceptable. You like the line width? Sweet. It's a little bit dirty, but some finishing touches. Okay. I'm gonna try something out. No. It's so basic. It's so basic. I cannot save it. It's so mid. I have no idea like how I can make it like better than mid. Peak mid. But okay. I suppose it's better than like being washed. It's so mid. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Can I accept my fate? Maybe I can like do something, but yeah. In any case, that's been all for today. Thank you for watching. Have all a nice rest of the day, evening, good night, whatever time zone the world you all are. With that, I'm gonna say bye bye.